This video is recorded on 19th March of 2024. Hi, I'm Sarthak. I'm from India and I want to discuss the MoveIt attack that happened in May of last year. MoveIt data attack was interesting because of its scale. It is a widely used file transfer service and that impacted thousands of organizations and even more people. MoveIt was an interesting thing because it had so much potential of stolen data and the financial losses to each company were quite significant. Clop was also the attackers of the ransomware who have a reputation, which made this case all the more interesting. This attack was engineered by Clop, who are known for these sort of attacks. They usually put sensitive data on an extortion website and try to get money from the people they stole the data from. These victims of this attack have been really high profile clients such as BBC, British Airways, Boots and Aer Lingus, whose staff data and other important details have been compromised along with various others. So why was MoveIt targeted? MoveIt was extremely popular. It had a very high profile client database and it had all sorts of sensitive data like financial records, intellectual properties, legal documents, etc. It also had disruption potential. That is, they had the advantage to cause chaos for the users and organizations, to cause more disruption and extort money in return for secure deletion. Apart from that, they found out that MoveIt had a 0-day vulnerability and they used that to get into the website. So how was it exactly exploited? Clop searched for weaknesses in MoveIt as early as 2021, and once the weaknesses was found, they had the 0-day advantage, and they slowly used a series of SQL injection attacks that increased their privileges by inserting harmful characters into the servers. And once they had access to these servers, they held them hostage and demanded ransom for secure deletion within 7 days. So what exactly is a SQL attack? SQL attack is this technique which is used to gain higher privileges by Clop. So SQL injection attack occurs when SQL statements are written into a form of a website. Tricks such as 1 = 1 are used to bypass passwords altogether. So what is a 0-day attack? 0-day attack occurs when an adversary finds a weakness in the system and exploits it. So once the attackers have found a weakness or a 0-day vulnerability, they find a way of reaching into the system. They often do this by a socially engineered mail, or they try to convince a user to perform an action like opening a link or a file and visiting a malicious website. Doing any of these actions essentially downloads the attacker's malware onto the user's files and helps them steal confidential data. So how is this addressed? First, the breach was notified to every single person who was impacted, to all the stakeholders. Next, they dashed to patch vulnerabilities in their systems. They also launched an investigation against Clop. Sentinel-1, a cybersecurity company, has published threat hunting queries to help organizations search for more of these attacks. And the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CSIA, has issued an advisory guidance helping to detect more of these attacks in the future and see if there are any indicators of compromise. To avoid such an attack or being a victim to such an attack, it is recommended that people, or the companies rather, behind these services do regular patches. And these regular patches are helpful to mitigate any zero-day vulnerabilities. Apart from that, regular audits should also be conducted within the software itself. There have to be more secure coding practices, such as having input validation, having escape characters, having output encoding, and more of authentication and password management techniques such as hashing in their website. It is also recommended for users to use open source websites so that maximum people can find more vulnerabilities and quicker patches are introduced to mitigate more vulnerabilities. And moreover, there should be layers of cybersecurity in place, such as despite having the best coding practices, having regular patches, regular audits, it is also recommended that the data should be encrypted. The encryption of data is quite important, as even if things go pretty south and people really do get access to certain data, it is always recommended that when they do eventually get to the data, that it is some encrypted sort of a ciphertext, where even by getting their hands on the data itself, the adversaries need to find more ways of converting the encrypted ciphertext into the plain text. So essentially, these companies and of course the users themselves should take maximum precaution in avoiding clicking on unknown links and going to unknown data websites, and definitely also include more advanced techniques or advanced methods in place, such as password managers, that will help them protect the data even more. This was Karthik Sangar's presentation on MoveIt hack that happened in May of last year. Thank you very much for watching this video.